The 2020 baseball season has already seen its share of highs and lows. The Bronx Bombers started with a bang of an offseason. It almost seems like light years away. Gerrit Cole stole our hearts in December of 2019 at Yankee Stadium before making his first spring training start in late February of 2020, weeks before the pandemic took a stranglehold on the Big Apple. Here's a nod to better times.
I'm just tremendously excited, and it's the best organization, in my opinion, in the league. I came 8 outs away from getting a ring. I felt like I could see the light underneath the door, and then it was slammed shut in our face, or it was probably never really opened, actually. I'm as hungry as ever to finish that journey, finish that challenge. And in my opinion, there would be no better place to do it than New York.
You know, it's an exciting time for us. We try to with every transaction, whether it's big or small, we always have high hopes and expectations and excitement surrounding the decisions behind them, and looking forward to them leading to real positive things on the field in days and years to come. So this is another chapter of that, obviously a much bigger chapter.
COVID-19 sunk sports globally and here in the U.S., but as we restart from the pandemic, the time off allowed the Yankees to return to full strength. The Pinstripers healed other injuries during the downtime of March, April, May, and June. Had the season started on March 26th, the Yankees would have opened with Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Hicks, James Paxton, and Luis Severino on the injured list. Now, all except Severino, out until 2021 with Tommy John, should be on the opening day roster as the season opens.
Good to be back grinding with the team. It's gonna be a unique year for all of us. So just coming together and grinding away with all the new obstacles.
A welcome relief for a club that placed a record 30 different players on the IL in 2019. 2020 will be a sprint to the World Series champion. We have a new format and a 60-game season upon us. This year's adjusted schedule has the Bronx Bombers playing 40 intra-division games against the Boston Red Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Rays, and Baltimore Orioles. Last year, the Yankees posted a 54-22 mark against their American League East opponents. This is the best record ever by an AL East team within the division.
We had 2 players, and we've received permission from them that tested positive before coming to New York, so before intake testing, in DJ LeMahieu and Luis Cessa are both self-isolating right now at their homes outside the state of New York right now. Both in DJ's case, he's been asymptomatic the whole time. In Luis's case, he's very mild symptoms. So we're hopeful that it'll be a short time, but they are not here at this point. And so we'll see how that continues to unfold the next several days.
The baseball seems like the least of the challenges ahead for the Yanks. There are plenty of COVID concerns as well as new protocols and procedures. We have an extra innings rule that allows clubs to have a runner on second base, inclusion of the 3-batter minimum rule that requires pitchers to face a minimum of 3 batters before being substituted, a ban on spitting items including sunflower seeds, peanut shells, or tobacco. Chewing gum is allowed, and pitchers will be allowed to carry wet rags in their back pockets to be used for moisture instead of licking their fingers. Who would have thunk it? Baseball in 2020. MLB suspended operations on March 12th due to the coronavirus pandemic. The league expects to finish the 2020 season by mid-October, and just in case you were wondering, on-field safety rules include no high fives, fist bumps, hugs, etc. No fighting, no arguing with umpires or the opposing team in close proximity. No lineup card exchange either between the managers before the game. There's an app for that. Players must use their own pine tar rags, bat donuts, and other equipment in the on-deck circle. Players must retrieve their own hats, gloves, sunglasses, etc. from the dugout to take onto the field, even if they end the inning on base or at the plate. Players are strongly discouraged from throwing the ball around the infield after an out, and players not expected to play in the game shouldn't sit in the dugout. Lockers must be at least 6 feet apart, and mascots are allowed in stadiums but not on the field. All of this gives new meaning to a new world for the Yankees, the sports landscape, and even those of us working a regular 9 to 5. As for the most recent baseball by the Yankees, their resumed spring training slate was a good one. 2 wins over the Mets by a combined 12 runs. The pitching, and especially the offense, looked sharp. Ton of home runs by the Bombers, and the bullpen allowed only 1 run over 9 innings against the Mets. Can you say the best in baseball?
I think we have a great staff overall. And I know this year is going to be shaped a little different because of the shortened season. I feel like we're going to be able to utilize everybody. And we are deeper than most teams. So I do think that's an advantage, in any length of a season, but especially in a year like this where maybe the starters aren't ready right out of the gate to go 7-8 innings. We can kind of go to our strength right away and run with it.
We saw dingers from Clint Frazier, multiple homers from Aaron Judge, and some bombs courtesy of Luke Voit, Gary Sanchez, and Stanton. Mike Ford also blasted a late game-tying homer in the spring training games this past week.
I'm so excited. I feel like Thursday can't come soon enough. But yeah, this lineup is it's deadly. Top to bottom. And this is one of the first times I think that I've actually been able to play in this whole lineup without all the injuries over the last couple of years, and I can't wait. And hopefully that trend continues in a good way with the health. And I'm so excited for these guys because there's a lot of star power, and anybody at any time can do some damage, and it's going to be really fun to watch.
But of all the homers, Frazier's blast with his mask on stole the show.
He's embraced that, and he's been really playing well here these last few days. Feel like his when he first got here, he was a little out of whack, and then I feel like the last week the quality of his at bats have really ticked up. A lot of deep counts. Same again tonight, and obviously really clipped one. And all the while, it's been important to him to have the mask, or he has the gaiter on during the game, and obviously it's not affecting him.
Looks like Clint is all grown up. Love the quote on COVID-19. Open quote, "It has affected us, and we want to win the World Series. The way to do that is to be healthy." Close quote. Sounds like a great place to cut this Bronx Bomber preview short and head to the C-list for my 2 cents. There were certainly times when it felt like we weren't going to have a season due to the months-long COVID-19 shutdown. The season will go on, though. MLB's weirdest and wildest season is about to begin, flipped upside down as the league attempts to play a 60-game season amid a global pandemic. The Pinstripers opened last night in Washington against the reigning champs. Their series will continue in D.C. this weekend. It's impossible to know what the world will look like 3 months from now. But if baseball is able to complete the regular season, it will give us the World Series in October. And if we are lucky enough to see a fall classic in 2020, I'm taking the Yankees. I mean, I often take the Yankees, but this time I think it's going to happen. They have no glaring holes: power, pitching, depth, and for now, health.
We're all excited here. It's been a long road, long journey to get here to opening day, but I know our team's ready. It's been a crazy year, affected a lot of people, a lot of families, and I'm just excited to get back on the field and start playing the game that I love. And hopefully bring some positivity in this world with a lot of negativity going on.
Perhaps even by the grace of God, I know New York City, once the epicenter of the pandemic, deserves a champion. The Yankees rarely let us down when we need them the most. Cheers to a baseball season, no matter the outcome. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.